Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod in the locker room. Today we're going to talk about the first week of the MLB season, pretty eventful. Dana White got a couple big main events coming up here on some UFC cards, and then we're going to get into the biggest, I think, event of the week, the NBA returning starting tomorrow night. We're in here a day early for you guys to get you a preview of everything that's coming up there. So let's get right into this thing, man. Let's talk baseball.
Yeah.
I know you kind of follow the Reds and the Indians. I've more just been watching the Reds and maybe throwing a gamer here on. There was a nice fight last night in a Dodgers game.
I've seen that. Eventful to say the least. If we're in the first week, we were actually in, the third day when 8 Marlins players and coaches, or maybe it was more.
I think it got up to more,
yeah. Tested positive for COVID, and all their games got canceled or whatnot, and teams they were playing. And then the news comes out that the entire team was at the strip club.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that's the word. I don't know if it's official, but it's going around by some verified sources.
Hey, if COVID's the worst you catch in a strip club, you might be doing all right.
Right? Yeah, that's not terrible.
I did see that they were playing the Phillies when this happened, and no positive tests on the Phillies.
Yeah, which is weird. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that there's 0 positive tests, so that's good.
Yeah, it's a great thing
for them and for baseball moving forward. But I did not know that they were out at the strip club. But I was honestly worried baseball was getting shut down.
I was
like,
too.
Oh shit, this is it.
I
3
was
days
too.
in.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You can't though. We got to stop playing afraid of this. Positive tests are going to happen.
You just got to get through it.
You got to get through it. I mean,
when it's that many people, it's tough.
Right.
But, I mean, get other bodies in there. I mean, and we've said in here, we can get into our feelings about the virus and the reaction and all that shit, and we won't because we're going to stay sports. But in the world of sports, you just have to accept that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Have your contingency plans in place and be ready to act on them. Now, it's a lot better that it didn't spread to the Phillies, too.
Yeah,
because then it's going to be, okay, well, how many Phillies can go to their next games and all this shit? Because they were playing the Yankees. I know a couple of those got postponed.
Yeah.
So there's, I mean, you just have to be ready for it at this point.
You got to prepare for it.
It's just the new normal, as they call it.
It's a bigger chance it's going to happen than not, it seems like right now. I mean, not really, but it just seems that way. The part that got to me and just, that kind of pissed me off, watching the Reds and Indians, the Reds.
They fucking suck.
Well, no. I'm talking.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Keep it about the virus, though. But so Mike Moustakas is, you know me, I'm bad with name. They call him Moose Moustakas,
yeah,
right?
Moustakas. I think.
And Nick Senzel were ill. Okay.
Yeah, they just
so
didn't feel good.
The guys were ill, and the MLB put them on the COVID list, right? So these guys haven't been playing. They've been out of the lineup a couple games, and Senzel and Moose they're in the heart of the lineup.
Yeah, Moustakas was big for the Reds.
And he's played that
very well.
First 2 games he was great. And what was the other Costa?
Yeah, I don't know his last name. Nick Castellanos,
something like that. You guys know I'm bad with names if you've listened.
If you know the Reds, you know who we're talking about.
Anyways, he comes out after the game yesterday because the Reds dropped to 1-4, losing the last 2 to the Cubs, and he says he pretty much says it's bullcrap. He's like, you've taken the heart of the order right out of our baseball team.
Yeah,
which is true.
Especially if they don't have it.
And here's my thing. Exactly, that's what I'm getting to. These guys haven't even tested positive. They tested negative. Several tests. Negative for COVID, and they still wanted them to sit out 10 days because they were ill. I don't understand that.
That doesn't make sense. I'm sure that the MLB and the NBA and the NFL, all these big sports organizations with money out the ass, have probably the most accurate, the best type of testing that they can have.
Yeah, I mean,
so if this guy's popping negative, maybe he had a cold. Maybe he was hungover.
Right. And they said he was feeling down, but who cares? If he thinks he can play, and he is tested negative for COVID, which is why we're even in this stupid
whole situation.
Bubble, why can't he play?
That's what. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I was getting ready to ask.
That's
I was getting ready to ask if they had been tested.
Yeah, several times.
So if
negative the entire time.
Well, what's the criteria for the NFL right now, right? 2 negative tests and then you're able to come into the facility?
Something has to change, man. Something has to change. It's taken the MLB 24 hours to get these tests back. We got to be quicker. When you got tested, you got it back in 2 hours. Okay?
Yeah, like same
We
day.
need, just in general, and we're not, like you said, we're going to keep it sports, but in general, with the COVID tests, we need instant, okay? Or we need 2 hours, or we need 3 hours. We need to know these things. Like, we're to a stage now to where we have to know quicker. It shouldn't take 24 hours, especially in the MLB, in the NFL, the NBA. There's no reason for it to take 24 hours. I mean, because this is going to hit the NFL even harder. And we need to know things sooner too, like a 10-day. So what if a Browns or a Bengals, or a big time quarterback player gets it and they got to sit out for 10 days now? It was 14, but I think it's 10 now.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Like, we've got to figure something else out.
Yeah, I don't understand.
There's no need for those guys to be out of the lineup when they've tested negative though. That's
not
at
all. Not at all. They're probably sick from something that is normal,
right?
A 24-hour bug, or something. I mean, anything. Obviously, I always thought the standard for a player and I'm just using the NFL for example, was because training camps are opening up and they're reporting. You test negative twice, and then you can come into the facility. So if Moustakas and Castellanos, is that it?
It was
or Senzel. Castellanos is the one that was talking about it. If Moustakas and Senzel are testing negative and they feel healthy enough and over whatever sickness they have to play, they should 1,000% be in.
Absolutely.
You're not putting anybody at risk.
No, you don't have it. The test is proof.
Yeah,
you don't have it.
You're not putting anybody any more at risk as you are in a regular season with fans and,
Right.
He felt sick for a couple of days, but he gutted it out and played. Well, nobody sits you and quarantines you then.
Right.
So if he's got a cold or what the fuck ever, but he's tested negative for COVID and he feels like he can play, they should both be in the line.
Right. So I guess it was the 10-day rule is what I get. I need to refresh up on this. So anyway, all I know is they were supposed to be out till Thursday.
Right.
Okay. So I think it's 10 days. Maybe
sounds about right.
Whatever. I think it's 10 days. They appealed it. Senzel and Moose appealed it and won it, and they're actually back in the lineup tonight for the third game against the Cubs.
Oh, so they're playing tonight.
They're playing tonight.
Nice.
And why not? I mean, and they should have won it. I don't know. That just blows my mind that these guys are negative and they can't play. I don't get it.
I understand discretion.
And I guess it wasn't the team. The MLB put them on the 10-day Corona, the Corona list, and they didn't even have it.
I don't understand that. I think that I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other than put them in the fucking lineup. I don't understand why they should even have to appeal that. It doesn't make any sense. And the Reds need them because, like I said, dude, they fucking suck.
The Reds looked good that first game against Detroit, and then the second game they should have won, and they've had a couple come.
They've been close. They fought back.
I was the first one to come in here and say, if a baseball player was going to have to miss a few games, it wasn't a big a deal. But for the Reds, it's shown to be a big deal.
I guess it all depends on who it is.
Yeah, you're missing your number 3 hitter. Moose was balling out, dude. I mean, he was playing big.
Yeah, he was killing it.
As far as everything else goes, man, I'm with you, though. I haven't been very impressed with the Reds. I expected I almost expected a Detroit sweep.
Yeah.
The Tigers aren't going to be that good. The Cubs, I thought they were going to get 2 of the 3 here, and they've already lost 2. They're just, I don't know. The pit, it's all around. It's been bad. I mean, Votto's been hot. He's cooled down a little the last 2 games.
Galvis is cranking homers.
Yeah. But it does look like they missed Senzel and Moose, and and that's 2 big hitters. So I mean.
And they've been so Reds, and these motherfuckers, I got a jersey that I was wearing on opening day now. I was in. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get into the Reds this year. Perfect year, 60 games, all this shit that we've talked about. But they're still like the Reds that I've known my whole life. They can either pitch very well, but not score any runs, or they can score a bunch of runs and they pitch like shit. And the bullpen lets them down.
Now, they're not getting much of anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, Sonny Gray was great, dude.
Yeah, Sonny Gray's a baller.
You know, and Votto started hot, and Moose has looked good the little bit of time he's got to play, but...
So maybe we'll get to see tonight then.
Yeah. I think you might have a different outcome tonight. I mean, you get the heart of your team back, the heart of your lineup. You know, another thing too, it's just the pitching hasn't been great outside of Sony to me.
It seems like it's always the Reds' problem. It seems like the Reds always have a good enough amount of bats to get it done, but they don't ever have the pitching. The bullpen always seems to come in and fuck them. And from all the people I know that are big into Reds and big into baseball were telling me that the bullpen was going to be good this year.
Right.
The bats were there. You know, Votto was supposed to come back, re-energize and refocus because he's had it down a couple years.
Votto's had people around him, so he's not getting all these walks and you know, they're not pitching around him. So yeah, I heard the same thing. You know, the thing is though is we're not seeing it. You know, and people are already starting to worry because this is a downsized season. They only have 60 games.
Yeah, you can't afford to drop many games.
You're 1-4. That's 5 games. That's 5 of 60. That's a big chunk, and these games are going to go quick.
Yeah, they're going to go. I mean, they're playing 3 nights in a row.
Right. Longer than that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they had a night off since we started. You know, so they've got to get it going, and they've got to get it going quick.
Yeah, and losing games to the Cubs in your division is not going to help you either.
Exactly. I mean, you at least need to win. They have to win tonight.
Yeah, it's
already. I mean, you can't go to 1-5. And now, on the other hand, you have the other Ohio team, the Cleveland Indians, who are playing fucking lights out. Their pitching, dude. Their pitching is insane this year.
I mean, you're kind of identifying the Reds and the Indians, and I'll accept that. But I honestly haven't watched a lot of Indians baseball. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, it's 4-1. They've opposite of the Reds. They're 4-1, and just the pitching has been incredible, dude. They're hitting the ball well. It's just, the pitching. They might have a top 3 pitching squad in the league, man. They won a doubleheader last night. I mean, they had to make up a game that got rained out against the White Sox. And
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
How do you make up rain delay games in this? And
they did it the next day.
I bet you the Marlins are going to have to play some doubleheaders or something.
I'd imagine. And that's going to be interesting to see how that goes, or all these games that are getting postponed for the Marlins. The Marlins have to play 60 games.
Right. Yeah.
Whoever they're playing, they've got to make those up somehow.
Yeah, unless they make them forfeit them.
But I mean, it's not their fault. I mean,
they
went to a strip club and all, but you can't do that,
I want to talk about Lou Will's strip club thing here, too, because we kind of have different opinions on that, but we'll get to the NBA on that. But baseball-wise, man, it has been entertaining. I have been more locked in than I probably ever have. Typically, my baseball fandom is I watch Reds opening day because it's a big deal, and then I'll tune in, go to a game or two when they play the Cardinals or the Pirates, the rivals, maybe where you see a fight. And then I watch like the All-Star game and shit, and then the playoffs. So I'm definitely more locked in. I've watched pretty much every Reds game that's been on. I hope they turn it around, but it doesn't like super upset me.
No, I want to see them do well, man. In a year where we're just craving sports, it would be nice to see our teams do well, and have something to cheer for. You don't want to see them go fucking 10-20 and know they're out of it and stop having to pay attention to sports again, even with the NBA starting up tomorrow. I hope they turn it around. I think they will turn it around, but they have got to get a lot better, and it's got to start tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully it does, and we'll see kind of how the revamped lineup with Moose and Senzel back in the fold. And I mean, the Cubs is sort of a rivalry thing, so pride of Middletown, Ohio, Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, I actually know his cousin. So we'll be into that. And next thing that I wanted to get on here is Dana White announcing some big ones. Some
big main events.
Big one for your birthday.
Starting on August 15th, man. You get Stipe and DC. So Stipe Miocic.
He's done being a firefighter?
Daniel Cormier, and it's going to be fight 3. DC knocked Stipe out the first fight, and then Stipe got DC with some brutal body shots last year on my birthday. It was the same fight. It's weird. So they fought last August, and then they're fighting this August.
We had the projector go on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, and they say that they say DC says this is his last fight. He said this is.
I've heard that. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll have a vacant title if he does win. I don't think he's going to win, but I'm a big Stipe fan, so I'm a little biased. And then September, we have Izzy. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Izzy versus Paulo Costa. And, man, this is going to be a good one. We're all in debate over here. I think Izzy's going to put the work on him.
I'm going to give it a try. Adesanya. I'm going to go with that.
Adesanya. I think it is Adesanya. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be interesting in September. And then the one we've all been waiting for in October, Khabib is fighting Justin Gaethje. So
that everybody knows that's a huge one.
Yeah. So that's gonna be an interesting one to see if
Gaethje's a bad motherfucker, dude.
Gaethje can stand and swing with the best of them. Can he stop Khabib from taking him to the ground and pounding on him? I tend to want to lead to Khabib on that one. His dad just passed away, and and a big part of his life, and especially his fighting life.
He'll probably be very motivated.
Right. And then word got out today that Tony Ferguson wants to either fight Dustin Poirier, which I'm not interested in, or Conor McGregor, and he says the winner should get to fight Khabib and Gaethje, which I agree.
Ooh.
So
the winner of Khabib and Gaethje, or both of them?
Should fight the winner.
Gotcha.
So I'm all for that. I mean, I would like to see. That's what I said. That's how it should have went anyway. Let Conor fight Tony, and let Khabib and Gaethje go at it, and let the two winners fight.
That'd be a bad.
Because I think Conor's whooping Ferguson. I think Conor's whooping Gaethje, and then Khabib is. I don't know. I can't see him winning that, but
Conor Gaethje would be a really, really good one.
See, Conor's a big counter striker,
mm-hmm.
and I see him TKO
I could see him,
or KO and Gaethje.
I could see him making Gaethje pay because of how Gaethje throws.
Yeah.
And Conor's going to counter it really quickly with that big fucking left.
Yeah.
And yeah,
these guys don't know what they're in for when they fight Conor, man. A lot of these guys talk shit, and then Conor hits them, and they're like, "Holy shit, that dude does have the power." Yeah.
And that's what I miss the most, man. I need Conor shit talking back.
Yeah, we need Nate Masvidal. I mean, so that's a big one coming up. It's a real nice card because you got Sugar Sean O'Malley on that on the August card, and then you got Junior Dos Santos on there. It's gonna be a nice card. I'm ready for it. But what I'm really ready for is tomorrow night. What about you?
Tomorrow night, fucking the NBA. And the NBA came out today, did another round of tests, 340 some odd players.
No positives.
0 positives. So
they're in the bubble.
Their bubble concept is apparently working. AD is going to play. I know we talked about that. We went out to dinner last night. AD is going to play. He's wearing goggles. Looks kind of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Let's stop right there for a minute. Let's talk about your boy AD real quick.
Well, we got a caller for that later. So let's do that.
We got a caller.
Yeah, we got somebody that's going to call in for that later.
Okay.
Generally speaking, let's just talk about your expectations, and let's start in the East. I mean, what excites you the most about the Eastern Conference that you're going to
obviously Giannis,
of course,
and the Bucks. I think that's the team to beat in the East. I think that's the most well-rounded. Although I think Toronto's really good too.
Toronto is solid.
Toronto is just a real good team. There's not one big star there anymore after Kawhi left. It's more of it's team basketball.
Siakam and Van Vliet, man.
Van Vliet, Siakam, Kyle Lowry. They excite me. I mean, the 76ers have to excite you to a point to wonder if they can get it going, man. If Ben Simmons, and I've said that last time, but if Simmons could ever get a shot, holy shit.
I want to see if
I'm not big on Boston.
I want to see if they can continue the run that they were making before everything slowed down. Because I mean, they're kind of like Toronto in a way. Tatum was balling. I mean, he was giving the Lakers everything they wanted. Lakers won a hard-fought game there right before it ended. They were starting to gel well. They don't scare me to like them in a series against Milwaukee. I'm going Milwaukee 10 times out of 10. But I don't know, that something just tells me that I think that they could be a solid team and maybe make a little bit of noise. But it is what it is, man. As we always know, it's going to be the West. The West is going to be
outside of the Bucks.
We talked about all the parity and balance back in the league now with some of these 1-2 punches instead of these 1-2-3-4 punches or Golden State with a fucking 5 all-star lineup and shit, but the quality teams are still in the West. It just is what it is.
And let's go to the West. I mean,
that's going to be so much fun.
That's going to be fun. I mean, that's starting right off rip, starting tomorrow, and that's why you're so amped up about it. The Lakers and the Clippers. I did see that the Clippers are going to be without, was it Montrezl Harrell?
Montrezl Harrell's been out.
Oh, is he? Okay, I just seen a little something pop up.
He's recovering from something or something. It's not COVID, but Lou Will is not going to be playing.
Okay, and you wanted to talk about that.
Well, we did because I said that it was dumb as shit. Whether he was at the strip club picking up chicken wings or not, I think it was dumb to do. You said, well,
let him live his life.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck.
And I said this on Twitter. I don't know if you caught it or not. I equate it to Josh Gordon in the NFL.
Oh, come on.
No. Just listen. Not. It's not like it's a string of the same problem, but I'm in this way. Josh Gordon was in the NFL, led the league in receiving, missing 3 games, all that shit. Budding star, would have had millions of dollars. Couldn't stop smoking weed. Okay, whatever. I personally think that NFL players should be allowed to smoke as much weed as they want, and I think they can now.
They can.
But I equated it to that because, okay, I think Lou Will should be able to go live his life too. He was out for his dad's funeral. Apparently Magic City in Atlanta has like the best chicken wings on earth. First I had heard of it. I get it. I think he should be allowed to do it, but he was in the bubble. He left for a funeral. He knew he shouldn't have done it, so it is dumb to do. Just like Josh Gordon. I think he should have been able to smoke weed as long as he wanted, but he knew he couldn't, so it was stupid of him to do.
And I couldn't disagree more.
Well, I'm just saying, the rules. Don't do it.
I mean, what the fuck? The NBA has never had these rules. And I know we're in a different season because of COVID, but who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? The guy did nothing wrong. We are allowed to go to strip clubs. We are allowed to eat chicken wings.
Well, look what happened to the Marlins. They went to the titty bar and their whole team got shut down.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
It doesn't bother me. None of that bothered me. It's like we said at the beginning of the show. Getting COVID doesn't bother me.
Well, I understand that, but he chose to go into the bubble, and unfortunately his father passed away. Rightfully so, you should leave. I mean, fucking Alex Caruso didn't go to his sister's wedding and stayed in the bubble.
I've seen that.
But
he could have.
Yeah, he absolutely could have. And Zion went out, got tested every day. He's back in practice. I think he's able to play tomorrow if the team wants him to. My thing with Lou Will is, I get it, man. I think I don't have any issue with what he did. That's your life. Do whatever the fuck you want. But knowing that you're in the bubble concept, knowing you have a team that has championship aspirations. Now, granted, he's going to quarantine for 10 days. He's going to miss a couple of these regular season games.
They're going to be fine.
No big deal. They'll be just fine. They'll probably keep.
What's he been in the league? Over 10 years? He's a vet.
Yeah, and they'll keep they'll probably go in keeping the 2 seed. So it's not going to affect them in the playoffs. But it's just, I just feel like you're not supposed to do it, so just don't do it. It's dumb.
And like I said, I couldn't disagree more, man.
What if he would have popped up with it and then he had to not play?
He would have. They knew he was going to get tested before he got back.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think no matter what he does, and nobody knows because there's no phones of him in the strip club throwing money at women or nothing, right?
No, there was pictures of him that somebody there posted, a DJ, a rapper, somebody like that, posted on his Instagram story of him in there. It's not,
and he's in there. He says he goes in there. I don't know. Was he wearing a mask?
That I never actually saw.
I don't know. Either way, he says he went in there to get chicken wings.
I bet you there's not many masks in Magic City in Atlanta.
Yeah, but anyways, he says he went in there to get chicken wings, so the dude has to eat. I mean, it just doesn't bother me.
Send somebody else in to grab your fucking chicken wings.
It don't bother me. If a man wants to go get him some food, let him go get his fucking food.
No, I completely agree.
If a man wants to look at some titties, he has every right to go look at some titties. If Diamonds is open and we want to go look at some titties, who gives a fuck?
I agree with you. It is completely within his right, but his job is to.
You are only saying that because he's on the Clippers.
No, I would say that if it was LeBron James.
You fucking hate the Clippers. This is they're like the Steelers for you, or Ohio State or some shit.
I would say it to
because if it was LeBron, you'd been like, no man, LeBron's fucking dude.
No, I would have said that
titties. He's sick of Savannah. He's been fucking her for way too long.
No, I would have said the same thing if it was LeBron or Danny Green.
I understand what you're saying because he's in a bubble. But it's like,
just don't do it.
Who gives a fuck? I don't care.
Why not? Personally, it doesn't bother me personally. But I'm saying in a sports setting, you're playing on a team that is in a bubble, Just don't do it. If it's about the chicken wings, I know he was with some people, his family, probably. His dad passed away, unfortunately. So send your cousin in to get him. Send your brother in to get him. And just don't put yourself in that situation. Now, it's not going to affect the Clippers. The Clippers could lose all 8 of these games and probably not give a shit. Because it's all about the playoffs for them. The Clippers haven't given a fuck about the regular season all year.
Right.
They've been the exciting regular season team with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan. That was cool. And it got them
a championship.
And it got them 0 market share in LA. When they were the hot team in the regular season with Lob City and all that shit, it got them 0 market share in LA.
Well, the Lakers are Lakers.
Yeah. So I get they don't give a fuck about the regular season. My whole point on that is you could have had somebody else go get it. I mean, is the titty bar on DoorDash? I don't know.
Probably not.
But
I mean, how
send
how
somebody
else
else
gonna,
in to get your shit.
How else are you going to order chicken wings and see titties if you DoorDash it?
He's probably got a smartphone. There's some real gross shit out there.
Yeah. So he needs to like get on Pornhub while the DoorDash is delivering his chicken wings or some shit. If that's possible.
I mean,
why not go in and see real titties? You're an NBA star. They're gonna like.
Well, yeah. I completely agree, dude. Go do your thing. If you're not going back to a bubble to play for an NBA championship,
Fuck
that's my
the
only
bubble.
thing.
Fuck the bubble.
The bubble's the only reason we got this shit coming up.
We still got
night.
MLB without a bubble.
And it's fucking already getting fucked up.
Yeah,
I'd rather. I mean,
I'm not gonna go there. Of why I think.
Well, yeah, I do. No, it's yeah. I agree with you, but I'm just saying, man, you're in a bubble. Go attend your dad's funeral by all means. Don't go to the titty bar for chicken wings. That's my only thing. So
Drew says don't go to the titty bar. Lou Williams, I say go. You can see titties and get chicken wings. Why not?
Basketball should be more important. Cuffs the legend. You know Cuffs the legend? I'm going to keep going for a second. The dude on Twitter that was like breaking the LeBron back to Cleveland news and all that shit knows LeBron, I guess. Great Twitter follow. He tweeted.
But wasn't he wrong about some shit? What didn't he say? Kawhi to the Lakers?
Yeah, but everybody has said that was like a last-minute switch. He was about to sign with the Lakers, and then the Clippers said, what if we get you Paul George? They got you Paul George. Maybe it was leverage. I don't know. But he was dead set on it.
Yeah,
but
it seems like leverage. But
it probably
might
was.
be right.
And we'll probably never know. But he said, like, that day, that morning before that came out, he was like, man, we're going to see who's really here for basketball and who plays basketball for the perks and the money that come with it. And then, like, the same night, Lou Will's at the titty bar. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think you should be focused on, first and foremost, your family, making sure they're taken care of.
Oh.
Making sure. Well, no. It's not about that. I'm saying he had to leave for his dad's funeral.
Oh, okay.
So take care of your family. Make sure that's right. Make sure your dad gets the service he deserves. And just if it's about the chicken wings, send somebody else in. Johnny Manziel was on Twitter. He was like, hey, in his defense, they have the best chicken wings on the planet. And I'm sure Johnny knows.
Oh, I'm sure Johnny knows.
So
let's continue with basketball and get off Lou Williams' dick, Drew. So what
Lou Williams was a Laker. I like Lou Williams.
So what do you think? How do you see the West going? Obviously the Lakers are there, the Clippers are there. Are there any other teams that you're like, okay, I don't want to play them in the first or second round. They worry me a little bit.
I don't want to play, honestly, the Blazers, dude. A healthy Blazers team.
Dude, what's his face? So
Nurkic.
Nurkic has looked great.
Looked phenomenal.
And if you think about that team for a second, Dame,
Melo can
CJ,
go off.
Melo, Nurkic.
Yeah, they're solid.
They are solid.
A healthy
I
Blazer
started
team is
watching
scary.
them. I started watching one of their exhibition games, and they looked good. Do you want to see Zion and the Pelicans and a young Pelicans team who
yes, I'm not scared of them.
Yeah, I just feel like if they could get hot, they possibly could. I don't see them winning a championship, but I just think maybe they could make a run, maybe to the second round, and be a headache to somebody.
Zion hasn't played enough meaningful NBA basketball.
But I don't know, man, because you've almost had that first year behind you now.
He played like 20 games.
Yeah,
though.
but we've seen it. You've seen it with Kyrie. You've seen it with a lot of players. That's that second year is just a lot better.
Oh yeah, and they've been through essentially an off season.
Right.
They in a 7-game series against the Lakers, the team I root for. They don't scare me. I would rather play the Pelicans than I would the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies. Oh, forgot about the
Ja Morant, dude. He's
Ja
looking
Morant's
good.
the real deal,
and he's still looking.
And
good.
then the team that I say that could be a wild card, the Dallas Mavericks. What do you think about them?
The Mavs, man, I like the Mavs. They beat the Lakers in the scrimmage, and there was a lot of talk on Twitter about that. But LeBron and AD played like 15 minutes each, so I didn't read into the score at all.
Yeah. I think all you can do is almost take that by the first
fucking
half.
Clippers lose to the Kings and blow a 20-point lead, and Kawhi and Paul George played 30 minutes, but nobody talks about it. The Clippers are also on the fucking media payroll. The media's on their payroll.
You guys see why he's mad at Lou Williams now? He just went off on the Clippers.
I like Lou Will. I've always liked Lou Will, but yeah, the Mavs scare me, dude. Porzingis, Luka.
Luka's nice.
Luka
man.
stepped
He's
back
so
in,
nice.
and he's still Luka.
Yeah.
He's
Seth
bigger.
Curry.
Seth Curry stroking.
Can nail a shot.
I wanted him to be a Laker this offseason.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is nice. I mean,
Yeah,
they got the West is loaded, man. The Nuggets, Jokic fucking losing all that weight. And
that fucking huge lineup they're talking about, that's not sustainable though. Right?
I don't know. It's
like everybody's like 7 foot.
So
tall.
if you guys haven't heard, it's Jokic. I see. I'm
Jokic,
so bad with names.
I think it's Jokic. I don't know.
Bol or how do you say
Bol?
Bol. He's like fucking 7'4".
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
They got Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, so it's like the biggest lineup in history.
It's like the biggest lineup in Jokic. God, that's so bad with names. He plays the point. And he can play the point.
There is zero spacing in that lineup.
Man, but how you getting a rebound over them big fuckers? Hey, everybody going to the rim. Crash.
But like they're not going to keep up with any kind of speed.
No, I know.
But I hope they don't try
I think
that.
it's just a lineup. I think they were just having
Toying
fun
with it. Yeah, and that's
fine.
but
they have Gary Harris and Jamal Murray. I mean, they got a nice lineup too. Michael Porter's there. I'm excited, man. This is going to get going tomorrow and then every day from there on out. So
yeah, and first game is the Pelicans at 6:30 tomorrow against who is it? I just saw it earlier.
I don't know. I just know the Lakers and Clippers are.
That's
the
9
night game.
p.m. I can't.
That's on what, TNT?
I can't wait for that. Yeah, it's a doubleheader on TNT, starting at 6:30 tomorrow with the Pelicans game. They're going to play. I'm looking this up. I apologize. I had it in my head, and I was ready to talk about it, and it kind of snuck out on me. Utah and New Orleans, the Jazz.
Okay, Utah.
They're going to be interesting. The Jazz, too.
How's Donovan Mitchell and
Rudy Gobert were beefing, dude, over that COVID shit because Rudy was making jokes, grabbing all the mics and shit.
You can't hold it against. I mean, nobody knew how this was going to go.
Yeah, but I know that was like a real issue between him and Donovan Mitchell because Mitchell ended up with it, too.
Right, is Mitchell not going to pass him the ball?
So I think they said that they were moving forward, but there's still tension. So I'm not scared of the Jazz by any means.
No,
but I think that would be interesting to watch and see how that dynamic on the floor works.
What do you think about the Houston Rockets?
You sent something today, man. You are a big James Harden
Everybody
guy.
hates on James Harden, but me. He's leading the league offensively in like every stat.
Yeah, but I want to see the percentages of those stats.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's a gunner, and he doesn't win shit. But
maybe. If he's going to win one, this is the year.
Healthy Rockets with Harden and Westbrook has to be scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much else. I know Capella's been gone.
The thing is with the Rockets, dude, if you put every team on fire and it said, all right, can make the most shots, it would be the Rockets.
Yeah,
they have shooters
Harden.
everywhere. Yeah. They did lose Capella, so they don't have much size.
I think Eric Gordon's fucked up too.
Is he? I don't know.
A couple weeks with an ankle.
But that's an interesting team. Like we said, the West is so between the Rockets, the Trailblazers, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Nuggets. I mean, dude, it's fucking loaded in the West. The Mavs. That's 8. I mean, that's 8. And I think 12 teams are there. So,
and another thing about that is, I want to know what Melo we see going back to the Blazers.
Yeah, because
he was playing good before they went out.
He just fits real well with that team.
Yeah, he's
like, hey, Melo, we need you to score, and that team scores.
And like the Rockets too. And the thing about the Rockets, it's a typical Mike D'Antoni team. Mike D'Antoni's like, oh, dude, I'll give up 160 points as long as we score 161. I don't give a fuck. Like they just Harden plays zero defense. Russ plays a little bit of defense, and D'Antoni just doesn't give a fuck. They just want to outscore you. It. Like they're just like, okay, dude, we'll spot you 120. We're gonna score 125.
And a lot of times they can do it.
Yeah, they absolutely can. So that's something to get into, and we'll bring in a guest here and kind of get his opinion on how things are going to go here when the restart comes in. I'll get him here on the line. Jake, what's happening, man?
What's happening?
What's up, Jake?
What's up?
So we're talking about the NBA restart, man. We're getting into. We kind of talked a little bit about the Lakers, and let's clear your fandom up here. Are you a Lakers guy, or are you a LeBron guy specifically?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am a LeBron guy.
All right. I mean, I've got my experience dealing with those guys now because I've been a Laker fan my whole life. When we were starting like Ryan Kelly and shit.
We didn't want you on the Cavs anyway.
So LeBron, let's say he leaves at the end of his Laker contract, and because I know he wants to play with Bronny. So let's say Bronny gets drafted by like the Magic, and LeBron just cuts out and goes and plays for the Magic. You gonna be a Magic fan?
Absolutely.
So okay, so it's just a follow LeBron thing.
Yeah, and then when LeBron retires, it'll be a Bronny Jr. thing.
I guess I can understand that. I don't personally identify with that. I like my teams. I was a Kobe fan, but I stayed with the Lakers. But so
I mean, I guess if I have to pick a team, it's the Cavs because I'm an Ohio guy. So, except for college football, no, I'm a Florida Gators fan. So, just because I don't like the Ohio State fans, are kind of obnoxious.
Well, Florida Gator fans.
We win.
Florida Gator fans are just Ohio State fans with Southern seasoning on them. I think I've told you that before.
Oh, yeah, you have.
But NBA wise, man. So what are you thinking here? What team outside of the Lakers? Let's say since you are rooting for the Lakers, I'm not going to call you a Lakers fan because we earned that shit. I've been waiting 7 years for a playoff berth. What
My
team?
guy LeBron's going to give it to you.
If he can be a part of it, that's great. But I'm telling you, man, I have never been more frustrated with LeBron than I have been when he joined my favorite team, especially that first year, dude. He pissed me off. He hasn't really done much to me this year. He's been kind of all in this year because he got everything his way. He fucking bitches and cries and when he doesn't have shit his way. He got his team this year, so he's been trying. But I'll leave that where it is. What team scares you the most in a matchup against the Lakers?
Out east or out west?
Start west first.
Yeah.
Who don't you want to see rounds 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, let's not go with like the Clippers or a team that you think will probably be late, but like these early round, first or second round matchups. Who do you not want to see LeBron have to play against?
I really don't want to see the Houston Rockets, and that's just because they're playing small. I know we got big guys, but that's a lot of speed going up and down the floor.
Yep.
We have a lot of veteran guys that I don't know if they could play that kind of pace with them. It kind of reminds me of the Warriors, and then, those Cavs teams that LeBron was on where they would just run and gun and shoot the ball. That just doesn't seem like a good matchup to me. And then other than that, I mean, I'd rather not see the Clippers. It's not that we couldn't beat the Clippers. I just feel like it would be a longer series, and I just don't like seeing us getting in a bunch of long series as far as that goes, and then
Especially
going to the
early.
finals. Yeah, especially early. So I'd love to see the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. That'd be great if they could stay in the A seed.
I wouldn't, dude. The Grizzlies scare me. We talked about that before I brought you on. I said between the Pelicans and the Grizzlies, I would rather see the Pelicans.
Really? Why?
Because I haven't seen a ton from Zion. I'm a Duke guy. I like Zion a lot. I haven't seen a ton from him, on the floor. He hasn't played a lot of games. Lonzo's not going to hurt you really in a series, I don't think. I know his shooting got a little bit better, but I don't see them as much of a threat. I just think the Lakers could beat them in probably 5.
I mean, I'd take the Lakers in 4 no matter which team it is in the first round, honestly. But, I mean, I'd rather not see the Pelicans just because Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and then they got J.J. Redick and Lonzo and Ingram and, Josh Hart too. They all know what the Lakers are doing, like what LeBron's going to try to do. I mean, they don't know about playoff LeBron, but, I mean, as far as regular stuff goes, I mean, some familiarity there. I don't know.
And I'm going to ask Chad this real quick because I hadn't brought it up to him, and I have an opinion on it. How big to you, Chad, is the Rondo loss for the Lakers?
I don't think the Rondo loss is bad at all. LeBron's bringing up the ball anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it being a big loss. The Lakers are going to be there with or without Rondo.
What do you think of that, Jake? Because I know some people were like really upset. I talked to Tyler Barnhart. He's a LeBron guy too. He follows LeBron. He was real worried about the Rondo thing. What do you think about Rondo going down? Because I have an opinion that I can't wait to talk about.
I'm going to have to kind of agree with Ty on that because, I mean, I don't think it's a huge loss, but I think it's definitely a loss. He's a guy that runs the second unit, and LeBron really likes his basketball IQ, and playoff Rondo is a different beast.
I was hoping somebody would say playoff Rondo, dude. Playoff Rondo is a fucking myth. That's from like 3 years ago, dude. Like that's
What are you doing with
over.
the Pelicans?
But there's no more playoff Rondo. That's a myth, dude. The Lakers are better without Rondo, and that's no knock on Rondo. I don't have anything against Rondo. I just think the Lakers are better without him.
Who's going to be the Who's going to be the second unit point guard?
Dion,
It's got to be either Dion or Alex Caruso.
the GOAT.
What about Jr.? What's I mean,
No,
He's gonna play
JR
two.
is not running point.
I don't think he's got the IQ.
well,
and-
because Waiters is a 2. Waiters isn't a 1.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
Waiters
he can
moves with the
run it,
ball
though.
better though. I personally,
He
from what I've seen,
creates.
I mean, if
He's a good-
I'm going to
he's a
let
good
somebody
creator.
run, I'm going to do Caruso. I think that dude might give you the best chance there with that second unit.
I think that he would be, and he's not going to score a million points. He's fun, you know. He's like the bald white guy that everybody fucking makes gifs and memes about and shit. But he makes fucking hustle plays, man. He sparks runs. He gets those plays that get you fired up. I like Caruso a lot, but I've been pretty damn impressed with Dion and JR. Now I know they're playing exhibition games and they both have consistency issues, but dude, JR is sniping still.
It's nuts.
Let's swish.
What do
Hey,
you
and
think about
I love J.R. Swish, man. He's a legend in Cleveland. Hey, I got a question for you, Jake.
Go for it.
So you probably think it's going to be the Lakers and Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, right?
Yep.
Okay, say the Lakers win that. Who do you not want to see in the East? Or do you not care?
I don't want to see Giannis. I don't like that matchup because his team matches up too good with what LeBron's got. Because it's basically the same thing. It's Giannis and some shooters, except Giannis' shooters are just a little bit better.
Yeah, dude. Eric Bledsoe, Kyle Korver, Chris Middleton, dude. They're loaded and ready to go.
Yeah.
That's the only team in the East that I think would, like, if it was Lakers, Sixers in the finals, I'd be like Lakers win in 5-6.
Yeah.
But
What do you
team
guys-
to look
so-
out for? Boston Celtics, dude.
I said that too. They were really,
Low-key.
really hot there at the end. He's not really big on
I'm
them.
not big on Boston. I'm more on Toronto. Toronto just just play as a team, man. They just play
They're
great
an
as a
underdog.
team.
But everyone wants to talk about the Sixers. The Sixers are going to make some noise. I'm like, no. It's either
More than likely, you're right on that. But and I think you and I talked about this on Twitter. If Ben Simmons could ever get a shot, that team would be fucking ridiculous.
Oh, they better hope he doesn't get in the gym with LeBron like LeBron wants to and get him a shot going, dude. Because if that happens, then yes, the Sixers will be dangerous.
We've said the same thing about Giannis, though, too, and it looks like Giannis may be working on getting himself a shot. Because I remember saying that like earlier in the season. We're like, oh, shit, dude, if Giannis starts hitting threes, look out. And,
Right.
I mean, I've seen some videos of him in an empty gym shooting threes, and that's different. But, yeah, man, I'm kind of with you. The Bucks are the team in the East that scares me. Anybody else that the Lakers may possibly match up in the East, I'm not really too terrified of. But,
And really, the only reason that the Bucks kind of scare me is that they can cruise through the East, so they can get the time off and rest and like be ready to go.
kind of like LeBron
And
used to do.
Yeah, and then whatever. I'll let that slide this one time, but
No, he walked through the East. But that's not a knock on him. He used to walk through the East. He went to the finals 8 straight years.
that's right.
And it just wasn't hard on him.
Not
And
that
then
not that
LeBron's
LeBron
gonna
was good or anything.
go. Right. So then LeBron's kind of got to battle his way there through the West, and you're
All right.
17. I mean, I'm not worried about it. He seems locked in. The chemistry seems good. So yeah, that's what I got for you.
And
All right.
AD is going to play. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Chad. I'm sorry, but me and Jake talked about this on Twitter, and I think you agree. AD's kind of fucking soft, isn't he?
Soft.
And I hate that because he's probably like the most talented big man I've ever. Well, not the most, but one of the most talented big men ever. He can dribble like a guard. He can shoot pretty well. But god damn, dude, he's always getting nicked up. And
Yeah,
it's like
it's
I said,
always
throw some
something.
fucking goggles on. and play.
He might miss a game here and there because of a paper cut.
It seems like it. He hits the floor too much too. Like every time he hits the floor, I'm like holding my breath.
Yeah.
And
Because if he goes down, I don't know where our next scoring is going to come from. Because I'm sure as hell not relying on Kyle Kuzma.
yeah, I mean he looked really good the day after his 25th birthday. Maybe that's when they say the male brain matures.
All right, Jake, last question for you real quick here. So
Go
of
for
Houston, the Clippers, and the Bucks, which one of those teams do you not want to see? I mean, obviously you don't want to see any of them, but which one do you fear the most?
Giannis and the Bucks. It's not the Clippers because I don't know. I'm almost banking on something to happen to Paul George or Kawhi because they're kind of injury prone. They're both basically in the same boat as Anthony Davis, if we're being honest. So,
That's not wrong.
So yeah, I just think those guys. You said that's not wrong, or it is wrong?
No, that's not wrong. They have their injury concerns as well, but I think he was asking just specifically in the West.
No.
You said all of them?
All
My
teams.
bad.
All teams.
Yeah, so probably the Bucks, just because of the shooting and being able to cruise through the East might give them an advantage.
I will say
all
this:
of our veterans having to battle through the West.
Right before the shutdown, I saw LeBron dominate the Clippers and the Bucks, and he dominated Giannis.
You're right about that.
But
It's
scary.
a whole different startup, man. It's almost like a whole offseason. It's and they're getting to the playoffs quick, so it's gonna be. We're gonna see some. That's why we keep saying you might see a team, maybe the Clippers, maybe the Mavs, maybe somebody who gets hot. And, team ain't warmed up yet. I mean, because we always talk about playoff LeBron, and he enters the, 0 dark 30 or whatever it is. Is he going to have enough time to even get to that point? So
no, he's good. He's been working, dude, this whole time. And
he's
been trying to get people together when he can. So our team chemistry is great. That's one thing we have going for us. And Frank Vogel was like, I shouldn't have said us because I'm not a Laker fan. I'm a LeBron guy. But anyway.
I'll get the fuck out of here.
But I think that's going to be good for the Lakers. The team chemistry, that could be huge with these other teams that haven't been maybe being together and practicing and stuff. But Frank Vogel was like, I think that we won the lockout time, the quarantine time, because we tried to stay together as much as possible and doing stuff and working out and stuff like that. So I think that's a huge advantage.
I would agree, but I do think there were other teams doing the same thing, and it just wasn't
publicized
the way it is with the Lakers. But
hey, man, we appreciate you coming on. I'm sure we'll be on Twitter tomorrow night during the game, going back and forth. I'll be saying stupid shit, and that'll be it. So appreciate you coming on, man. We will holler at you later.
Absolutely, y'all have a good one.
All right,
thanks,
see you,
Jake.
Bye.
And
so Jake is scared of the Bucks, Clippers, and he thinks maybe Houston will make a run. So
none of that's wrong.
No. I mean, any of it could happen. But kind of back to what I was saying there at the end, man. You just don't know. Somebody could make a run early. This isn't an 80 game season.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We're getting to the playoffs quick, and you just don't know. Somebody could get hot.
Yeah, these are tune-up games, but the team that doesn't treat it like a tune-up game and gets hot could carry that momentum into the whole playoffs, and it's going to be fun, man. It's like an AAU tournament setting type thing. They got virtual fans. Did you see that?
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'd probably get kicked out. They're sitting in front of their computers with headsets on and shit. It's kind of weird, but I hope what I've seen from JR and Dion Waiters carries over, dude, because they've been balling.
Yeah.
Dion's been creating shots off the dribble, hitting step backs, hitting threes. JR's he threw a really fucking cool lob.
and how much can we look into it yet? We don't know. There's a lot of teams that have looked good. There's a lot of teams that are playing their starters, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some are playing 30. So
a lot of JR and Dion's best play was this last scrimmage, but it was against the Wizards.
Yeah, who's going to be
not
gone.
Even all their starters.
Yeah, they're not even going to make it to the playoffs.
So yeah, I mean, it's fun to see, but can that carry over? Because Dion Waiters can give you 20, but the thing is, he usually disappears for the next 10 games.
Well, I know that from being a Cavs fan. There's Dion Waiters will have times where he's like, holy shit, this guy could be a superstar.
That's why he's the number one pick.
Then Dion Waiters wasn't the number one pick.
Oh no, you know who I was thinking of? I was thinking of Anthony Bennett.
Waiters was a top 10 or top 5, whatever he was, and he can create his own shot. He can get to the rim. The problem with him is, like I've told you guys, he will give you 30 one night and then go missing for 5, 6, 7 games.
Yeah.
And then give you another 20 and then go missing and then give you 30. I mean, he's off and on. Now, if he can stay hot, I mean, he was real good down in Miami.
Yeah.
He had, what do you have,
he was eating weed gummy bears and had a seizure or a freak out.
Yeah, had a seizure on the plane. So, that's crazy.
And he's saying all the right things. I've matured. This is all about basketball. All the shit you say, but let's see it on the floor.
Right. No, so basketball back tomorrow night, man. I know you're excited. I'm super excited.
Cannot wait.
I'm ready to get this thing going because we're going to have MLB We're going to have NBA and we're going to have UFC and just wait, right before football starts. And they're reporting to training camp. So this is going to be fun.
All 32 teams' emergency response plans for COVID were approved by the NFL, and training camp is a full go. Joe Burrow signed his contract. T. Higgins signed his contract. Our whole draft
Drew
class
is excited about that. He did not think that they were going to sign.
I didn't. I mean, I never thought that, but I was.
When you drafted is when you should have been excited, dude.
I was excited then, too.
Well, just another step.
I was just surprised that the Bengals are going to give him like $24 million within 15 days of him signing the contract.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, that's that upfront loading the contract on these, on all these guys now.
So, reporting to camps, hopefully we'll have roughly a little bit over a month before the NFL season is scheduled to kick off. No preseason. So, hopefully, anybody that has COVID can get their quarantine out of the way, get back to work, and get on the field. And the NFL and these individual teams can come up with some sort of plan to keep them safe. Yep. Now, I'm going to put this on you. Browns, week 13, in the playoff hunt, Baker goes to the titty bar the night before the game and has to quarantine. Is it okay because Lou Williams did it? But Baker's at the titty bar.
Why would he be there when he can just go to the Cheesecake Factory?
He did get his dick sucked behind a Cheesecake Factory. That is very true. I just wanted to know if that applied to the same way.
Dude, I will never fault somebody for living their life. Especially,
but, I mean, if you're in the playoff hunt,
especially during trying times like we have now, I will never get mad at somebody for living their life, man.
So Baker can't play, and you're in the playoff hunt because he chose to go to the titty bar. You're happy? You're cool?
We got the best backup in the league.
Well, okay. But, I mean, okay, Nick Chubb. Somebody. I'm just saying, I think it might be a little bit different.
But if Nick Chubb goes, we got Kareem Hunt.
Well,
so how about we use your team who's only got one good player at a position, okay?
Fucking Jack Conklin. Big boy.
We just drafted Jared Wills.
Man, fuck it, dude. Okay, you guys have so much depth. I hope everybody from the Browns is at the fucking titty bar.
It's on Baker. We'll save that for next time, though. But if Baker were to go to the titty, week 13, we're in the hunt. Baker finds his way to the Cheesecake Factory or to the fucking titty bar. I'm okay with it. I'm not against anybody living their life. Not at this time.
But then he can't play for your beloved Browns in the playoff hunt.
It's just at this time, man. That's just the way I feel right now.
You're getting paid millions of dollars, dude. To have the strippers come to your house.
I heard they are going to be penalized for things like that. Somebody got mad, and I heard that if they make contact at church, which they play on Sunday anyway. But I thought somebody said something about going to church and getting it or something. I don't know. Maybe I just seen it. I'll look more into that, but. There could be some
of the restrictions are dumb, but I do think it's something.
Yeah, like come on, dude. Oh, I can't have your jersey at the end of the game. But
after I just tackled you for 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's fucking stupid.
I think that'll get changed.
I think people might. What are they gonna? I guess they could suspend people. I don't know, but yeah, that's dumb. You can the guy like the corner that tackles Odell can't get his jersey after the game.
Right. Exactly.
What? So, but we'll have more on that as it comes. Hopefully, there's going to be some camp footage. We can see how these players look, see how a guy like Burrow's looking, see how Conklin looks.
So just I don't want to cut you off there, but so the Browns came out today and said that a lot of I think every one of their training camps are going to be like televised.
Like a live stream or something?
Yeah, like a live stream. So that's going to be pretty cool. They want to give the fans, the experience just like being there. It ain't going to be just like being there, but. They're going to have them live. And
for guys like you that live in Dayton, though, you got.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Brown was going to do that, and he saw how much the camera cost. So I think that's probably about all we got for you guys today. Appreciate Jake calling in. Anybody's always welcome. Like I said, we'll be back in here next week with a breakdown of the NBA games that are going to be taking place between now and next week. Anything that pops off in the MLB, and, of course, any more NFL news that comes with it. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Locker Room Talk Uncut.